I'm Sonia Azad. Welcome to The Shift, a place to inspire growth, resilience, and wisdom, real connection, healthy conversation as we navigate life's changes and challenges together. Because, as I like to say, we are all each other's teachers. Thanks to our friends at the Villages of Lake Highlands for making this podcast possible. Hair and makeup generously provided by Glam House Collective.
Hi, I'm Sonia Azad. Thank you so much for joining us for The Shift. I am with the CEO of Jazzercise today. We're in Dallas this morning. Thank you so much for sitting down with me, Shanna.
Yes, of course. I'm so happy to be here.
This is a huge treat for me. I know that Jazzercise is celebrating its 55th anniversary. So first of all, congratulations.
Thank you.
Secondly, your mom started Jazzercise.
She did. Yeah, she did. 55 years ago, she was a dancer, professional dancer, teaching, traditional dance classes, and saw a lot of people coming and going out of her classes. And she wanted people to stay, but she realized, now this was a long time ago, that there wasn't an avenue for women to really get fit at that time. So she just took her love of dance, turned it in, made it a little bit simpler, easier to follow, and Jazzercise was born. And here we are still here today.
It's incredible because, look, fitness and kind of the wellness industry has changed so much, even in the last 5 years.
Absolutely.
When I think about all of the twists and turns in the last 55 years, I'm like, how did you guys navigate this? How did you keep up? How did you stay current and keep transitioning?
I think for us, number one, we've always stayed true to who we are, and that's we're a dance fitness company, and dance is essential, and it's at the core of everything that we do. No matter what kind of class you're taking in Jazzercise, even if it's a sculpt class where we're using weights, there's still choreography that happens within that class. So staying true to who we are, I think number one was really helpful. Number two, when Jazzercise first started, we were in community centers and rec centers and in the neighborhoods where women lived. We offered babysitting during classes. And I think bringing it to where women are and where they are living and having childcare available, and also providing them, with a great program and something to help them feel good, a community, really is what started us. And we've sustained so many of those things along the way. Of course, also, as you said, the industry changes all of the time, and we've really stayed on top of all the new science and information that comes out for women and integrated it into our classes, but again, stayed true to who we are. And I really think those things have helped us in an industry that is very trendy, as you know, when things come and go. We've just kind of sustained ourselves by staying true to dance fitness and really who we are as a brand.
I mean, you're such a good model for this because, and I say this like as an expert in this field, because you have achieved what so many strive to do, like by staying relevant, by staying current, by staying involved and aware of what women need and want and delivering on that. I've taken some classes recently, and so I know exactly what you're talking about when it comes to format. You're using strength training. There's core involved in every class. Some of the classes you use the bands,
correct,
resistance bands. Some of the classes are higher intensity cardio and some are more low impact.
Right.
How did you choose to go in all these different directions within the brand?
Yeah, I mean, it happened so long ago. I mean, even us using, weights in class happened, oh my gosh, I want to say 30 years ago, maybe longer. But again, it's just like taking what is coming out in the industry, in science, and saying, okay, this is good for women. We need to integrate it into what we're doing. And then also recognizing that they want to keep dancing. They still want to have a good time. So formatting it in a way that feels familiar to them, but also gives them the experience that's a little bit different than what you do every single day at Jazzercise. So integrating all of those different elements and still making it fun and accessible is really what has worked for us so well. And we're not extreme. We're not an extreme company. Like, you're not going to see us flip-flop, one way or the other. We stay just true to who we are. It's really important to us.
So I'm a former dancer as well. There's a lot of us in the Jazzercise world. I feel like it's like everyone's like, oh,
dancers, cheerleaders, gymnasts. Yes. Yeah.
Because we do want to keep moving. But something that I've noticed is when you stop dancing, your brain kind of changes or something. Learning and remembering choreography is such an integral part of the Jazzercise experience. I mean, there's repetition, so you're practicing something
Right.
over and over.
Right.
But then week to week or day to day, the choreography changes.
Yes. That actually, I'm glad you're bringing this up because that is also a really big reason why we've been able to sustain ourselves so long, is that our choreography is always changing and evolving, and you get new routines all the time. They're challenging, but yet simple to follow also. And it follows a pattern, verse and chorus in the music. But having that variety, I think, has also really, really helped us. And also the familiarity, like you could go to Jazzercise in Houston, or you could come to California and you're going to know some of the routines and know the music and the choreography. So you're going to feel at home and feel comfortable. And I think that is really important too. It's also women or men coming to Jazzercise and feeling successful. Because if something's too difficult, you're not going to be successful and you're not going to feel good about what you're doing. But you also want it to be challenging at the same time. So it's like that fine balance that we're able to achieve really well at Jazzercise.
It's truly empowering. Like, and this is not like, I mean this. I'm not just saying this. I've walked into some of those classes, which usually are in the mornings, and just kind of like, all right, I'm here. And I leave being like, oh my gosh, I popped it, I left it, I dropped it. Like, it was like so energizing. Yeah,
it is.
It's like, I keep saying this. I don't know how you feel about it or how your mom would feel about it, but it's not your grandma's workout. Like, I think that we got to shift away from that.
Yes.
I mean, the people who are doing it already know this, but perhaps some of the people who haven't done it in a long time, in decades, are like, oh yeah, I remember that from a long time ago. It's fun. And there were 20-somethings.
Oh, yeah.
There.
Yes. My oldest daughter is a Jazzercise instructor, and she's 22 years old, and her and a large group of her friends, and she's a former dancer as well. I think there's a perception, just because we've been around for a long time, and, we're really associated with the 80s, and that's when Jazzercise really grew and became, a familiar business, and really grew. There wasn't even a fitness industry when Jazzercise started. That's how old we are. So, but we've evolved and changed. And I think, going through all those ebbs and flows and changes and being here is just kind of why sometimes there's a perception that, I remember that, but what are they doing lately? Because you hear of the new things in the industry so often, and everybody wants to jump on what they think is going to be the latest and greatest. I always tell people, anytime they're starting a fitness program, it's like, you got to find something that you love. Otherwise, you really set yourself up to fail. And so as someone who loves to dance, or if that's something, whether you grew up doing it or you just love to dance, we will be the program for you, because it will keep you fit. It will sustain you through all the ages and stages that you have. And you're right, like, you will have, someone who's 65 next to someone who's 25, and both getting what they want out of the class. And it feels like, I know saying that sometimes it sounds like that's crazy. There's no way that can happen, but it really does.
It does. And those 65-year-olds are not playing. Sometimes they're using heavier weights than me. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what?
Gotta up my game.
I mean, And so then they've inspired me to lift heavier, do whatever they're doing. Cause I'm like, I'm gonna be like her. They're
Exactly. Yes.
What made you want to continue what your mom started? And if I'm maybe hearing this right, your daughter is also following in your footsteps now to keep this train moving.
I know. I have two daughters that are both dancers. And so I think for me, I grew up around these amazing, strong women who were successful, who were healthy, who were fit. And I just grew up with all these role models around me all the time. I loved being around. I'm the same age as Jazzercise, so I literally grew up with it. And it was so inspiring to be around them. And so as I went on to college and I trained to become a Jazzercise instructor, it's such a positive atmosphere, and it's so fulfilling. And also doing a job that helps women, helps people to feel better, look better, be more successful in their life, be able to do the things that they want to do, is really, really important to me. And it's important to all Jazzercise franchisees, quite honestly. And that's why we do what we do. So, and the bonus is I get to stay fit too.
So I know. And I sensed you getting emotional when talking about helping women. Yeah. And I got like full body goosebumps, because I think that's why I also teach yoga and meditation, because when you're in a room with, whether it's a 25-year-old or a 75-year-old, and you see them light up or do something that they've never done, or leave with a new friend, or feel like they're part of a community, it is really emotional.
Yeah, it is. And honestly, I just feel like women we need all the help we can get.
Amen.
It's hard. It's hard to be a woman and in today's world. And, growing up, I had a mom that worked. My daughters, have a mom that works. And so understanding the needs of women, I think, is something that at Jazzercise we really try to stay true to and try to offer an environment that's going to be a community for them, that's going to be uplifting. It's like I always say, it's like I never walk into the studio and don't feel better. Honestly, if I wake up and I'm having a hard time mentally, emotionally, it's like I just need to go, even if I don't move a lot, but the environment is just so uplifting and positive. And so, it's important to us.
What is your advice to women who are entering my favorite stage of life, perimenopause?
Yes.
So pre-menopausal, but you kind of, your hormones are doing this roller coaster ride.
Yes.
So maybe one day you're feeling anxious. Maybe one day you become an insomniac. Mm-hmm. One day you're feeling fine. How does that intersect with movement and taking care of yourself?
Oh gosh, I could talk for a really long time on this topic, since I'm on the backside of that. I'm postmenopausal myself. Number one, I think you've got to arm yourself with information. It's really important that you yourself become informed. There's a lot of great books and a lot of great practitioners that are even, on Instagram, on Facebook, but really familiarize yourself with what your symptoms are and what your stage is. If you're perimenopause, like, what does that look like? Find a good practitioner also that you can talk to and that respects your level of knowledge. That's really, really important. And I kind of went through a few of them. For myself, like I did hormone replacement therapy, and that's worked really, really great. And that's a personal choice. I'm not a doctor, but that's just what worked for me. Mm-hmm. That, and then movement is essential. And also so is your nutrition. You will find that the ebbs and flows that you talked about, like you're going to be doing great. And then all of a sudden you're like, wait, I'm not doing great. What's happening? So knowing that that's going to happen and being in touch with your body really, really helps. And I think you become in touch with your body when you move your body. Mm-hmm. So keeping all of those things in line when you're going through these stages just will really help you. It's hard. My friends and I talk about it all the time. Even as someone that's postmenopausal, the shifts still happen.
Yes.
And I'm like, what is going on? But when you have that knowledge and somebody that you can talk to that respects that you want to know more, it really can help at least make it a little bit smoother.
Yeah. What is your relationship with fitness, nutrition? I feel like I paused because I'm like, should I ask her this question? I feel like it would be a lot of pressure to be you because you're like the face of and the body of women's fitness in this country.
Yeah.
And beyond.
Sometimes it is a lot of pressure. Thank you for recognizing that.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. Yeah, sometimes, because, we all go through changes and stages in our life where you're maybe feeling really good and feeling your best, and then things happen and you're not. And I think because I've moved my whole life, whether it was dance or jazzercise, I know for me, that's a good place for me to go when I don't feel well. And that's what I need to get back to, as well as my nutrition too. It's like you might find yourself in a place where maybe you went off the wagon a little bit, whatever your wagon looks like. And so I try to bring myself back to those places. And it's really kind of the back to basics, like eat well, try to sleep well, exercise as much, but I'm also human. And, I go through body composition changes like anyone else does. And I'll admit it's hard for me when I'm not where I want to be and what feels good for me. But I also recognize that is normal.
Yeah.
And that's what we all have. And a lot of times what I feel is not what people see.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yes. Same.
Yes.
We're on the record now.
Yeah.
We're admitting stuff that we probably don't admit usually.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think, and also thank you for being open about that. Cause I think like I just talked to a friend earlier this week and she's like, some days you don't want to meditate. Like, oh my gosh, I thought it just came so easy for you. I'm like, no, I have to choose this every day.
Yeah.
And it is beneficial for me and I love it afterwards, but it's the getting.
Yeah. Sometimes it's hard.
Yeah.
Yes. No, definitely. And recognizing that this is off topic, but kind of, it's kind of like, I look at this as at the holiday time, like some years I'm really into it and then some years I'm not. And I've learned to let myself be wherever I'm going to be. And I know that sounds like out there, but it's just like, if this is just not the time, like you can't force yourself to meditate, or it's harder for me to get to class. Anything is better than nothing. And you will wind up back there.
I don't think it's out there. I think it's actually really great advice. Because a lot of times women need this permission slip. Permission to chill is what I usually call it.
Yeah.
What is your advice to women who are maybe just starting on a fitness journey, or they're listening or watching and thinking, I don't look like them, I don't do all of this stuff, but maybe I should, like I want to, how do I start?
Yeah. Well, first, it's great you're even thinking about it and recognizing that you want to make a change. And I think that's really important for women. It's like the fact that you are even contemplating some effort somewhere is worth something.
The energy's moving in the right direction.
And again, I would just say, if you're thinking about fitness, number one, find something that you love to do. That really, it will keep you coming back to it. And if it's not dance and it's pickleball or it's yoga or, anything or a little bit of all of it, that's okay too. But finding something you love just makes it so much easier. And small changes do make a difference. Just like on the days you don't feel like doing something, doing anything is better than nothing, and you will feel better from moving your body. But, also recognize that it's a challenge for all of us.
Yeah. Where do you see Jazzercise in the next 5 years or 10 years? Like, what's next?
Yeah. I think one of the goals that I have for the business is just for us to be able to grow so we can serve as many more women and people that want to do Jazzercise as we possibly can. We've got a lot of amazing Jazzercise owners and franchisees out there that have beautiful studios and facilities, and we just want to grow so that we can service more communities and help women. Especially, I'm excited in this day and age right now that there is so much emphasis on women's health. We talked about perimenopause and menopause, and it's definitely having a moment out in the world and social media, and there's so much more information about it and why it's important for women to move. So if we can be part of that, helping to educate women just to move their bodies, to feel better, then I think all the other stuff can fall into place for women. It might motivate you to eat better. It might motivate you to meditate. Yeah. Other things come from it. So we really at Jazzercise want to continue to grow and change as exercise science tells us what is really necessary for Jazzercise, or for women to be able to work out to their potential at whatever stage of life that they are.
Yeah. What's been the greatest challenge for you guys? Are so huge. I mean, I can't imagine all of the, the mountains, the hurdles, the speed bumps, but what's one that comes to mind where you're like, man, that was really tough and we overcame?
Yeah. Well, I would say the pandemic was tough for the fitness industry just in general, not just for Jazzercise, for sure. We were really fortunate in that right before the pandemic hit, we had launched Jazzercise On Demand, our digital platform. Wow. So we had a digital way for people to be able to continue to work out, and we were able to sustain ourselves. But it was a lot of work. It was hard, and our franchisees did an amazing job at keeping classes, whether it was online or in studios or outside parks. Our corporate offices, we have 2 studios there, and we worked out in a parking lot for over a year. Wow. I know, 19 classes outside a week. And so that, I think for us, if you were to ask any of our employees, it was like, oh yeah, we made it through that. That was some hard stuff.
Yeah. The resilience that, whether it was that challenge or any of the other ones that may have like flittered through your mind, what has that given you personally, or maybe for your family, whether it's your daughters, your mom?
Yeah.
Like, has it brought you closer to that strength, to that, the core of being a family, to something else, the empowerment, the togetherness? Like, what has all of this, how is it poured into you?
Yeah. Oh, that's a really good question. I think I will be really honest and frank. So the last 5 years, my brother passed away. Jazzercise turned 50. I went through a divorce. There's been a lot that has happened to my family. And now Jazzercise is 55 years old. I kind of feel like we're hopefully on the backside of not so great things happening. I think one of the things that it taught me is that I am tougher than I think I am. I think my daughters learned that as well, watching my parents, go through the death of a child and understanding what that's like. I'm a mom, but watching them make it through all of that, and then the pandemic for the company, and it's been a lot. But you really can do hard things, and you can make it through. We have a great, amazing community and so much support through Jazzercise. But I think it really, I'm not afraid of tough things happening any longer. You can make it through and also be better on the other side, even through tragic situations or really difficult situations. I've learned I can do it, which is really empowering. It makes you feel like, okay, I'm going to be okay, and not afraid of things happening in your future. So that's what I would say.
There was definitely a reason, like a calling, where I felt like I needed to be in your presence. And I feel like this is such an honor, really.
Oh, thank you.
And like to get to be able to sit here and say, like, I think you are changing the lives of a lot of women.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
And probably like countless, endless, right?
Thank you.
People you'll never know. But thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Today.
I appreciate it. It's been so great to talk to you, and we could talk for a really long time.
We need our own
I know.
podcast.
Yes, we do.
We'll start that, Sheena.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
And thank you all for watching The Shift. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. We'll see you next time.
Today's podcast is sponsored by my good friends over at the Villages of Lake Highlands, one of the premier senior healthcare facilities in town. It's part of a campus offering a full array of senior services, including independent living, short-term rehab, skilled nursing, memory care, and outpatient therapy. Kelly Wolf and his wonderful team of physicians, nurses, and therapists provide outstanding, compassionate care. The Villages carries Medicare and Medicaid's highest rating, and they're consistently identified by U.S. News & World Report as a best nursing home. That's an honor given to less than 5% of all nursing homes across the country. The facility is beautiful with a warm and inviting decor and lushly landscaped courtyards. They provide tons of wonderful services, and the care is absolutely top-notch. Whether you're looking for yourself, a spouse, or a loved one, please consider Villages of Lake Highlands. You can check them out at volh.com or call 469-983-2330 to schedule a tour. And don't forget about our friends at Glam House Collective. Let's get glam.